we had to sell all our equipment to get enough money to pay for the ferry to get across to France. But we had a great roadie at the time, wonderful guy, Ginger, who went back to London and went to Vox and said, I think the band needs some new equipment, so we need to promote the band with your equipment. So he got all those new amplifiers, and I think he took them all to France, and then I think we sold them there. But we did get the photographs.
Yeah, Moody Blues, import exports.
And Justin, how familiar were you with the band prior to you joining? I know John was, because as Graham said, he was around. There was a chance where he was going to be part of it, and then decided to finish school. But for yourself, how familiar were you with the Moody Blues?
Well, everyone was familiar with Go Now because it was such a great record. In fact, it's only recently, I remember hearing the Bessie Banks original at the time because I had spent an evening with Denny Cordell, and who was, did he produce the
Yes.
Denny Cordell? And years ago, and he played me the original version, which was remarkably similar.
Yeah.
But then I heard it again recently. But I knew Go Now, what a wonderful record it was. Actually, the only things that I can remember as a boy from Go Now must have been Ready, Steady, Go. And Mike's right hand, he had a ring, I think, on his right hand, and Clint's face, because he had a real kind of craggy face.
Oh yeah.
And somehow Denny's face didn't register, yeah, so that's what I remember, and everybody recognised that it was just a great record, and I was very pleased to be. I was very pleased. I was to get a call. It wasn't Ray. I think Ray was in some depths of despair about some girlfriend when I.
That's right. Yeah.
But I had a call from Mike Pinder with Graham shouting in the background at a music shop when I was. I'd been with Marty Wilde. I was on my own, keeping the groups together, and I was doing folk clubs. And I was in a music shop one day, and I had a phone call from Mike Pinder, and it was like, who? Well, is that the guy from The Searchers? But anyway, it was a lucky. What a lucky thing for me. What a wonderful thing for
all
me.
of us.
And Mike, and I met Mike. Actually, I met Mike first, and then he charmed me as only Mike could, and it was a wonderful day for me. It was a wonderful day. And then I just tried and get my songs done. I was pushing Fly Me High then, even before I was doing it before I even joined the band.
But before we get to Fly Me High, though, you still were doing cover songs.
Oh yeah.
But I find that a bit odd, and correct me if I'm wrong,
that was the deal that we had to be. We were booked on the strength of the Moody's that John and I weren't in, kind of thing. So we had to keep doing that. And Ray and Mike, of course, were, but Ray strongly resisted doing any of the lead vocals. I don't know why. So he asked me to do.
Because at that time, of course, the Beatles and the Stones, Kinks, they were all doing original material. So you finally got to that where you started to do, and of course the single "Fly Me High," which we've seen now included in the show and seemed to go over very well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I can't say. I mean, I don't. It would not be right to say there was a plan that we had to make our own material. I only knew how to do my own songs. Actually, I wasn't really much good at anything else like Buddy Holly songs, and I didn't think we were a Buddy Holly band. But I certainly wasn't very good at the stuff that the Moody's did before. It was a bit of a puzzle why they picked me actually, because it was the last person to do that. But when we found our voice. There was an occasion when a guy said to us, came into our dressing room and said, "You're the worst group I've ever heard in my life." And halfway down the M1, the voice from the back, and it was Graham, he said, "He's right, that bloke." And we got rid of the blue suits, which was rather a shame. I quite like the blue suits.
Yeah, you got a figure for him.
Yeah,
The old donkey fellas didn't look so good in double press.
And then we just did our own material, and then we got an audience, boys and girls, that started following us around for our new material, and then things changed for us.
There was an explosion when Tony Clark joined, that was the last piece of seasoning, and the cake just cooked itself. Some of the songs that Mike wrote, Ray wrote, these two wrote, they're just, and the way they all gelled together, it was, I don't know, it was like riding on Pegasus or a unicorn or Pegasus with a pointy head, I don't know, but it was, whoa. And the confidence, I don't know whether it was confidence, I don't know if it was conceit, or maybe even stupidity, but some of the things we do, I listen to it now and I think to myself, how the heck did we have the nuts to do that? We just get somewhere in a song and say, okay, and just leave a gap. We'll fill that in later, put a marker through it. We'll stick a big orchestra and some waterfalls and clouds running, you know, and then we go back into the song, and then we go back and we'd actually do it. Don't know how.
We had a record company of real older, run by older executives that really did say to us, I mean, Sir Edward really did say to us, who owned Sir Edward Lewis, he was a lovely man, I don't know what you're doing, but get on with it because people seem to like it. And that would just suited us just fine.
And John, is it fair to say that Tony was to the Moody's what George Martin was to the Beatles?
I think Tony was closer than I would think George Martin was to the Beatles. Because Tony, we all lived in the same area, and George went to the same school, and we used to meet up like all mums and dads standing outside the school gates, and we'd talk about things. We'd talk about the album, talk about songs, talk about what we wanted to do, and so it became very personal with Tony. And it wasn't just about the music, it was about all of us being together. I mean, we did at one stage think about trying to buy a village where we all going to live in this one village together.
Village of the Damned.
We'd have one baker, knock that on the head really quick, but no, we did think about that. And the closest we got, we all lived within about 3 miles of each other in Surrey. And it worked really well.